I'm Joy.
I'm Nikki.
And today we have our special guest, Ren and Clues, the husband. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
We're so happy to have them. Our show, of course, is based on relationships, love, and entrepreneurship. So, and they have they're of course they're married and they're business owners. So, we're definitely gonna talk about entrepreneurship. You know.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna dive right in. I know it's a lot with running businesses and being parents, of course, or whatever. And both of your little ones are under.
Our oldest is 6.
Yeah.
6 and 2.
Yeah. I wanted to say he was 5. Okay. So how important is that date night and intimacy? You know, when it comes to, you know, that's like is that something you guys make the priority with me, or do you guys get too busy for that?
You want me
sometimes?
to start?
Yeah.
Well, we had to get to this point, like, because you know how you start a relationship and everything is peaches and cream and, you know, the infatuation stage and stuff like that. Well, a year and a half into us being together, I got pregnant with JD. Yeah. And I had never been a mom before, you know, like, you know, I had never been, you know, all of these things, a mom, a provider for a child, and then having to still focus on the guy too. Yeah. So I was very tunnel vision when it came to JD.
Yeah.
Very tunnel vision, like to the point where like me and DJ had to have multiple talks because he was like, dude, like,
I'm here.
It's like I don't exist.
Now you got to separate because you said the JD and the DJ. Who is who?
So this is DJ. So so
I know, but let the people know.
So this is DJ, aka Clue, government Daryl.
Yeah.
But he has 5 freaking names.
So do you now.
I do. But when we were dating, like that was a mouthful. And he's never been a Daryl to me. He never looked like a Daryl to me. I met him as DJ, so DJ stuck. Well, JD is a junior. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't call 2 DJs in the house. So their middle name is John Douglas. So that's where JD come from. Got it. Like a lot of people get.
Now that I never knew.
Yeah,
she giving out y'all governments.
Yeah, I know, right? But shit, it's so. Can I cuss?
You're fine.
We're uncensored.
I didn't know that.
We're uncensored.
Because I cuss a lot, y'all. I cuss a lot. Okay, but so that's where it came from. A lot of people was like, "So is it?" So you just put the junior in front and that's where the JD? No, it's John Douglas, like short for Daryl Johns. And his father's name is Daryl also. Oh, so wow. A lot of people thought that he was DJ because of Daryl Jr., but he's not a junior.
He's like
he
4.
Just has the first. He's not even a junior. Him and his dad got different middle names.
Okay.
So he's DJ for Daryl John and JD is JD for John Douglas.
Got it.
I know.
Got it.
So, okay, so getting back to that, he had to remind me multiple times that he was still there. And I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was first mom syndrome or what, but in the beginning of like us becoming a family, DJ was very standoffish when it came down to JD. Like it was his first time being a dad too. So he kind of was like,
this little baby.
And JD was a crier, so he was like, "Oh my God,
It felt more of like a obligation opposed to it being
fun.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, I have to take care of this.
Yeah.
Like opposed to, you know, after about it was like 4 months in.
6.
No.
She was counting.
No, it wasn't 6. It was like 4 months in for me. It was
4.
like having that connection where it's like, oh wow, like this is my son, I'm a dad,
yeah.
opposed to this being like, oh, like something I just have to take care of.
Yeah.
And sometimes
so it took a minute for me to be in that mode.
With the bonding though, because did you breastfeed in the beginning?
Yeah.
So see, like the baby usually comes out already bonded with the mom.
Man,
so then the dad has to work for that. Yeah. So yeah.
It was funny to see the switch because I'm a very detached person. I'm a very detached person emotionally. So with JD, I was like overly like protective, like, you know, and DJ is the affectionate one. So he was the one that was like, I ain't with this.
Yeah.
You know, like within a week, he was like, we ain't having no more. And it built something up in me, and I was just like, I couldn't understand, like, how are you not in, you know, like, all over him.
I know. So
he was like, nah,
I went
I'm
through
straight.
the same exact thing. I was married with my second child.
Yeah.
And when we brought her home or whatever, we both had 2 daughters already.
Okay.
Our daughters were 5 then. And when we brought her home, it was the same way. I was kind of like, I literally put her bassinet on his side of the bed on purpose. Like,
Wow.
you're going to be the one to get up. And he would sleep right there. And I'm like, so it's the baby right there. Like, can you get her?
Yeah.
And he was the same way. It was kind of like, I'm not used to her being here yet.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, okay, well, you got to help me.
Yeah. And
I think after understanding like the emotion of that situation, it was more so like the thought of, oh, this child has come in between me and my spouse.
Yeah.
So it's like now I have to fight for this time that I didn't once have to share. And then I'm really big on like being with people or being with your mate for the sake of being with your mate, not because of
the child.
Yeah, absolutely.
or anything else, but the fact that you want to be with them. You know, so when the kids came, it was like, yo, like what is happening? How come? Why is it like this? You know, and then we weren't the parents who like have a lot of help. You know, some people early on, they get a date night within the first couple. It's like, oh, I heard people like, oh, you've been inside with the baby for a couple of weeks, and my mom said I needed a break, and it was like, we still don't get much of that.
And
you know what I mean?
I can't take that. I can't fault our support system for that because of how overprotective I was with our boys. So the couple of times that somebody did come, like my sister or something, like, that girl, like my sister came over and was just like, girl, give me this baby. Like she packed him up and took him. I remember like I hadn't slept in I don't know how long, and I dozed off. I woke up, it was like 8:00 at night. I called her like, hey, what time you bringing him back? She like, Korin, go to sleep, Korin. Like, you know, and I was like, oh, you didn't plan on bringing her back. Okay, well, I'm on my way. And I packed the bag. I said, well, if you want to spend the night, I got to spend the night too. So I was so consumed in being a mother and my child that I'll admit, and I told him, like, you know, for me, it was just me and JD. And I think a lot of that built up because of DJ's detachment in the beginning, and I kind of looked at him multiple times like, you know, just give me my baby, because I didn't see the affection. So in the beginning of our relationship, date nights was like, we're parents. For me, it was like, we're parents. We don't, you know, like, we home, nigga, this is a date. You know, he sleep 30 minutes, this is a date. And it took a while, a really long while, I say. And I can't believe he was this patient with me.
And that's good.
Dope,
and you guys
can
I'm sure a lot of viewers can attest to that. You are not the only guy that experienced that as far as, okay, I want some quality time with my wife. And she's kind of like, cool, because a lot of people, I watch a lot of shows where they say that, like, the wife is kind of like, oh, I forgot about, you know, and it's not intentional, but your first thing, when you're a first time mom, is really the worst. And then even after the second, because mine was my second time, and I was more attached to her than my first child. So it was totally, she was my baby. She was a little whiny and all this other. She was more colicky and my bronchitis baby and eczema. So it was just like way more I had to do. My first baby, none of that, you know. So it was totally different. So I get it, and I know a lot of people can relate to that situation.
Right.
So now
I'm gonna go ahead and cut y'all real quick, just so I can do my PSA real quick. But for those who are just tuning in, you're tuning in to WJZZ Cool TV. We are streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Like, share, follow, comment. Let us know how you feel about the show, and call in actually too. What's that number again?
You can call us at 313-355-6018.
All right.
Again, that's 313-355-6018. WJZZ Cool TV. Evening Conversations with Ren and Clue right now. 313.
I think my
he said he wants the Facebook. It's WJZZ
Oh,
Cool TV. If you
WJZZ.
type it in search.
I think
You'll
my
see
Wi-Fi
It's
is
separated.
not
Cool
on.
TV is one word.
WJZZ.
Yeah.
Turn yours off real quick.
Turn it off.
And
The
then
Wi-Fi.
COOL TV.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Okay.
guys. Okay.
So we have
myself.
Clue and Ren with us, who are a couple. And so I'm gonna give y'all a background or whatever real quick on our relationship. So, me and Korin, of course, we've known each other since
forever. I think the
babies.
first time I met her, she was like,
I think,
well, she was in 4th grade when I first met her.
I think it was like maybe 1st or 2nd for me, because I don't remember you in kindergarten. But I remember it was maybe like 1st or 2nd grade. I'm not sure.
It was probably 1st. It was probably 1st or 2nd, because I don't think I was in the 4th grade when I met you. I remember seeing Joy like coming to get you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But the first time like I met Joy was like at one of your birthday parties.
Oh yeah.
I just remember her with these long ponytails, so cute, and talkative. Quiet. But when she got out, and I think our parents worked together for a while too.
They did.
Your dad worked with my mom.
And Ming stayed across the street from y'all. So that was my mom. Ming was like my mom's best friend. And Kayla was like your best friend, right?
It's a small world.
I don't remember, but I think that I do. I remember that person being across the street.
Yeah.
So yeah. It was sweet. Yeah. And then you was on Rutherford and I was on Mansfield. We was literally
right
neighborhood. It was the neighborhood. We went to elementary school together. And
too many times.
We separated middle school. You ended up going to Ludington, I believe.
I did. I went to Ludington.
And I was at
Academy at Detroit for like a hot second. And then I ended up going to Ludington.
So it's interesting watching her now as a wife, mom, entrepreneur.
Crazy, right?
It's absolutely, it's really dope to me to see the growth, like to see somebody from when we were kids, and when all we cared about was just like gym shoes and how our hair was. And Korin was like the hugest Tupac fan back in the day.
Oh my God.
We used to be in the gym. She used to be rapping. She used to be thinking she thought she was Tupac. I promise.
I don't think back I'm Tupac. Like, can't nobody tell me
you're
not
alone.
I'm
talking about do the whole songs. I'm like, so she had me. She actually put me on. I started listening to it. I'm like 4th grade. Like what's
that's what she said. She was young, listening to rap music like that.
Because we were kind of
our house was different.
And I got older siblings. You know, my sister's 10 years older than me, and my brother is 7 years older than me. So I have just this huge love for all types of music. Like you have my sister that was like, she was the Escape. You know, SWV, Brownstone. That was Shower, and then I had Dinky in the next room. Like every Saturday morning, I would hear Escape playing and Changing Faces playing, and then next thing you know, I hear Dinky just banging doggy style. You know, Snoop, Pac, all of that. You know, all of that. And then there was me, where I'm growing up and I'm in this pop era, so I was Britney Spears and. You know, NSYNC and all Backstreet Boys and shit like that. So my siblings was like, you're a little different. But I had a love for all genres of music. My mama thought I was weird. She used to hear me playing country and all types of shit. Like I just love music. So.
My oldest daughter.
So we want to get into y'all businesses definitely. You gonna be like I said, just gonna be on YouTube and on Facebook. So y'all.
I did.
Well, we want to get into y'all businesses and everything, so of course we can go into promoting that. So like this man right here is like next level with sneakers, like next level. We'll talk to you about. I watch some of your videos on your page, and you go into detail about the quality of the shoe and what's this, and I'm like, okay, I ain't never seen somebody that was just like this.
Yeah.
Like,
so giving people a little bit about the business and then what you got going on right now, Clue.
So the primary thing is clean sneaker care, which is what I do full time, which is we're a lifestyle sneaker care brand. So we clean shoes, you know. But I feel like we're the cool guys who do it because we care so much about the culture. So we're building a culture around like caring for your things. So that's like my baby. That's what I do full time. That's what's one day going to pay the bills. Right now we don't take any money from it.
There we go.
You know, and then from there it's like I just do a bunch of random shit. It's like especially since before that we had our clothing brand, Wins brand, which is what we it's like the outlet so we can create like product and stuff like that. But that's been like put on pause right now because we still have products for sale on winsbrand.club, but we're I'm not wearing that. I took it off. I slobbed on it.
Oh.
It was also a great hoodie I had on before we switched.
Okay.
And I had on her shirt before I switched, but I'm like, it's cold out here.
Yeah, it's really cold. Yeah,
I gotta give me some Just Flow hoodies.
So we do
wins,
right? So we do wins. That's the other brand on my side. Or I have a podcast too, the Sneaker Dads podcast. That's something I started like a few months ago. We're like 14 episodes in. We do an episode a week. Oh, so we've been going for a minute now.
Yeah.
So that's been pretty cool. We got cool things happening with that that we're blessed to be a part of very soon, and everything else is just random. It's like I've been doing stuff with Foot Locker, and then I just did some stuff with Shinola, but it's legit random. It's like when I stepped out to take.
You have a co-host.
Yeah, Tico. Yeah, Soul Survivor Detroit. And people think I'm a sneaker guy. Like Tico is on another
Next
level. Oh my god. Oh my god. Tico is something different. But yeah, it's just like random stuff. I'm just a big believer in like, just I take every opportunity serious, and since I've been blessed to quit my job and to do what I do full time, it's like other stuff that's been happening. It's like shit just happens. It's funny because I was the only time I used Clubhouse, I was in a group with like some really dope people. It was like, oh, this guy works for Jordan Brand Toronto, and this guy is from Portland, and all these dope people. And somebody from that group invited me, and one guy was saying like, when you take that leap and you're doing the right things, and you're moving in the path that God wants you to move. He was like, shit just happens.
Yeah.
Like you don't know it until you're in it, and then I'm experiencing that. It's like
blessings just fall into your lap.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like we was at brunch and had a meeting about something that's about to happen. It's like, oh, it's another month where another check is coming from somewhere else, and we can do we can do things that we need to do. So it's like stuff just happens, and you can't explain it. It's just like, just make sure you're doing what you should be doing, and then like, because it's not just like, oh, just go stop everything, quit your job, and just go. It's like
time.
Like take your time, figure out what you're supposed to be doing, because you got to be doing things correctly.
Right,
you can't just like
quit my job.
You can't just.
And we see that, we meet people all the time like you that's like, oh, I don't work no more, and I'm like, we trying to get there. Like,
trying to get there.
But also, it's like I had to remind myself of that. But
my boss, I love my job, but
look at her. She said, look here, look here.
No, it was like we've been.
I just don't have the opportunity.
We've been building. I've been doing stuff since we've been together 9 years this year, and I've been doing just like things in this lane since
we got together.
So it was like,
it all started when we got together. Though.
That's how they hate. God bless that union, though.
But it was. I've always been doing stuff. But I tell people in every interview that I do, when it gets to that point, it's like, nothing major happened in my life until we started dating. It was like once we, I feel like if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be able to like handle like certain things, because like just today, one of my the kids was there that I mentor, and they are like, they look at what you do, and it's like, yo, how do you like do that? Like, how did you shoot here? How did you do this and do that? Like, were you nervous and all this stuff? And it's just like, things just happen. I'm able to contain myself in those situations. Like, whether it's we meet and greet with somebody or whatever it is, like when people are like, oh my God, like you just did what? Even sometimes she'd be like, are you excited? I'm like, I'm excited, but it's like, yeah, this happened, but I really have to like enjoy that moment and then move on too, because you just don't know when I gotta go back to the thing that got me to that point. So but yeah, nothing major happened to me, and I think that was God waiting until I had somebody to help me like control, because I know a lot of dudes that are like in these positions and they just like don't know what the fuck to do with themselves. They don't know, like they're running around like chickens with their head cut off. They're super talented, but they just don't know what to do with like that. The rest of their energy, they don't know how to center it. So like she and the kids bring me like that peace, and then that why factor. You know what I mean? And I think that's where the blessings come from.
That's
it's like
awesome.
That's dope.
I like to hear that, because a lot of husbands don't admit that. You have some that do it, whatever, but that's good, and especially when you recognize it, and then you actually put forth that effort and that force to make sure that you're able to contain and maintain, and recognize one another in that aspect.
My story is so like it's so easy to figure out. You know what I mean? Like every single piece. I'm really big on like everything happens for a reason. And if I was to like break down every section of like, okay, when we met, we started doing this, then this happened, and then this happened, and then that happened. Like everything is like connected. You know, even from me meeting my business partner to my other partner who documents my life pretty much, like everything aligns perfectly. You know what I mean? And it's like you'll be stupid not to understand, like, you know, it's not what the quote that I took from that book is the past and the past and the future is written by the same hand. And it's like everything is really direct. You know what I mean? Like it's really not hard to figure out like why things are happening the way they're happening.
Especially like you said, when you're moving in the right path and when you led to do things and you're comfortable, when it just flows, like the brand, when it just flows, then you just be like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And I'm happy and I'm comfortable and I'm glad that I got somebody to be able to share it with. You know, or to even be able to come home like, look, I didn't like that. You didn't, because everybody don't have that. So that's awesome.
So true.
You're tuning into WGAZZ Cool TV Evening Conversations. I'm here with Joy and
I'm Nikki.
Yep, and we are here with entrepreneur, mompreneur, husband, business owners, friends, lovers, Ren and Clue. So we're going to jump into what Ren has going on right now, because she has numerous businesses too. They have 2 boys, and the boys you said are 2 and 6.
Yes.
Yep, and just we're interested in how you guys juggle 2 boys. Along with these businesses, and you still working.
I know it's not easy.
It's not easy.
When people say, I be like, I'm a beast, yo. That's what I tell people.
I mean, you are, but I like to call it to actually give them a real.
That's it. It's nothing else to say.
He said it's just that's it.
He is a beast. I can't take that shit away from him at all. Like he is. I'll be like, why are you up? Who the fuck is up at 6 o'clock in the morning and don't go to sleep? Why?
But also, like, I gotta do stuff for her. That's the other part of my thing too. Is like I try to.
And that's what's like for between
like
me
tomorrow,
and him.
she has a. Sorry to cut you off, like she has a restock. You know, wake up call is for me to start prepping her website before I go to the shop, and then when I go to my shop, it's really hard for me to like to not focus on the things that are in front of me. So that's why when you just asked me that stuff this morning, I try to do all those things like before I get into my workspace. Once I get into my workspace, it's like, okay, I have shoes everywhere. I have to get
and
this
that's
stuff
dope
out.
That it's that how you pour into her and she pour into you. I see her with the support. I saw the support and stuff in the beginning of the relationship and everything, and I seen and then now to see you pour back into her, that's cool, because sometimes you don't get both of that, whatever.
Right.
Sometimes they got like, look, I got what I got going on over here.
You
need to focus on what you focusing on, and then so like, but the fact that he makes sure that you're good too, you know, I think that's dope.
Because in the beginning of our relationship, that's what it was. It was like my mama bought me this damn astrology book for my birthday because she know that I like this stuff. Like, I'm not one of those weirdos that I'm not calling nobody else weird. I mean, I'm sorry, but like, I'm not one of them people to be like, you're such and such, aren't you? You know, I do find it interesting, and I do, you know, a lot of it is. The shit is kind of creepy how accurate it can be.
That's
you know?
funny you said that, because I said the same thing. Like, Joy be getting mad at me because I'm a Libra, and I don't.
She think everything is about Libra.
No, I don't.
He gotta be a Libra. I bet you be a Libra.
I'm telling you. Like, but how often do it be like that though? I promise, it's so funny. Like, every time somebody do certain stuff, I be like, man, I said he sound like he Libra gang. I be like, wait, he's I look and it be so funny. It's so many people that's in the industry that's like actors and actresses, producers and stuff like that, whatever. When I see they work and they drive, some of them, I'm not saying that the drive come from a Libra thing, it's not, because everybody can have drive, you know, it just depends on what you want to do. But like, I was looking at Terry Vaughn, how she like keep throwing out shorts, and how she always like producing something. You know what I mean? And then there's Leos, Obama, girl, bad.
Rest in peace, Nipsey. Girl, bad. Joy.
No.
So everybody is not a
Libra. Sound like my man's on the comedy. He like me.
That is hilarious. I put like I have a whole. It's old. It's really old, but it's a whole post of like different celebrities and historians that are Aquarius, and they
Our
all
mom
like
is an Aquarius.
they circle
January 22nd.
Oh shit, January Aquarius too.
Yeah.
So they like I'm a
The
February
18th,
Aquarius.
because
Yes.
one of my favorite cousins, Randy, she's the 16th. Yeah.
And then our niece is the 15th.
Aquarius.
Yeah, we are surrounded around a lot of Aquarius and Libras.
Yeah, I literally got like 5 Libra cousins, and then got like 6 Libra friends. Like, yeah, we like October 5th, 6th. I'm the first. So
One of my best friends,
crazy.
her birthday is the day before mine.
Oh, okay.
And I like
That's dope,
every
though.
we flew.
Oh,
I
Kelly.
flew. Kelly. I flew to New. She lived in New York. I went to New York
We just left
for her
you.
birthday, and she helped me find my wedding dress and stuff like that. You know, like I you know, it's just Aquarius. I don't know. It's just things that you follow these astrology books and signs and things like that, and a lot of this shit just be like something like I just read something to him that was like ridiculously accurate, and it was like creepy in a way.
Yeah.
And some
And I
of
was
it isn't
like,
just
that
the
shit is
astrology itself,
crazy.
it's the science. So a lot of people go too in depth with it a lot of times when it comes to that and the beliefs and all that stuff. But a lot of the stuff is kind of written in it, and it's science.
Yeah.
Like a lot of stuff it's like obvious, because I be on the same tip like, oh, that's weird how that's
And I
all
put it together.
like
I mean,
that.
you know, when people say the stars align, you know, okay, well, to me, when folks, you know, like, I don't care who have replaced the universe with God and all that stuff. To me, it's one and the same.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you tell me that something happens in divine order, the stars align. As far as I'm concerned, it's the same. You know what I'm saying?
I say the universe too. You know what I mean? Sometimes, but it's like, you know, it's God to me. You know,
I haven't replaced it, you know,
Yeah.
but there are times where I might use the word universe and, you know, instead of God. But it's just it just depends on
What it is.
the
I mean,
situation. You know what I'm saying? I would never
Yeah.
ever. At the end of the day, God is everything.
Yeah, for me, definitely. I don't,
You know.
and that's why I don't get too big into it. And sometimes it's not always, you know, sometimes it's not always accurate. But like I said, I've never been like super in depth with astrology, but I do believe like some of the people that's born, you know, within that same time frame, they have so many different similarities. It's crazy. So like it just be like it's like that. Like I'm not one that's like, oh, you're gonna be like this because you're born in January.
Right.
I'm not that
None of
person.
us, yeah.
But yeah, like it's some stuff
Me and
that
my
just
older sister, we're both Leos, but we like night and day.
Night and day.
Yeah.
So it's not like that's a Leo thing. Like
Yeah,
Right.
no.
No. When it come down to us,
girl, my mama
when it
saying
come
hi.
down- I say hi.
That's funny.
When it comes down to us, like, you know, balancing all that stuff, I like to say that there is no balance. It's just organized chaos. That's really just all it
That's
is.
a good way of putting it. Organized chaos.
That for me, that's where Just Flow came from. Like it kind of just developed in my head, like in a moment for me where I was just like, okay, like I have pushed you, I have supported you, I have held your hand, I have, baby, you got this, I'm that, you know, like I need an outlet. Like I'm going crazy within my own brain. I have ideas, I have things I want to do, and I don't know how to get it out.
That's
you know,
me.
Yeah.
I don't know how to get it out. Even when I'm talking, I talk in circles.
I do the
all
same
the time,
thing.
you
Enjoy
know?
get mad at me.
Like,
I'm
does.
always in circles. Like,
does.
But I have but I also I have a reason for why I talk in circles, you know, and to me, at the base of everything, it's easy for me to talk in circles and then try to come back to my point, because everything is everything, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like everything is connected to everything. So the world is one big circle. Mm-hmm. So when people say one thing don't have to do with the other thing, to me it kind of does. In some way it's tied
somehow
in.
it's tied,
So I have to try to give that disclaimer if people get lost when I'm talking, because I come back to the point. But that's, for me, my brain works. It's chaos up there.
So give us a little more information about what you're actually what you're working on right now.
I have a restock tomorrow for the I Am the Brand. A few crews. I ain't gonna say few, like I don't have 3, but you know what I mean. Like I'm restocking the crews in black, and I'm introducing the hoodie, because I only did crews last time for I Am the Brand. The crop plus tummy plus equals confidence. That was a crop hoodie. There's still maybe 8 of those available on the website, but I didn't bring those back because I really wanted to do the hoodies. And I have had people like, oh, you dropping sweats and we going into summer. My mom was the first person like, why would you bring sweats?
Okay, and look,
Well,
I
guess
have to wear the hoodie today. It's
We're
cold.
in
It was
Michigan,
48
so
I had
degrees.
I had my ass out on Sunday. I had on a mini skirt and a bodysuit on Sunday. Okay, legs out, titties out, everything out. And today I have on joggers, a hoodie, gym shoes. You know, and I'm like, how I don't work like that. Yeah. That's not even what Just Flow is. Just Flow is my way of like pouring into the world. So I do what feels right. So I don't have this is a spring collection. This is a summer collection. This is a winter collection. I just put it out when I feel like it needs to be put out, you know. So that's the restock is tomorrow. I added different color leggings for the first set of leggings that I had them in navy blue, black, and olive, and them boys was gone. So quick. So quick. That was so like, I was like in tears.
I know, and I saw the video, and I was like, no.
And I was mad because I'm like, she got me crying.
So look, for me, it was personal for me. Like, it was as if like, my sister just put some stuff out or whatever. Because like for me, it was like, I remember when she mentioned, we was chopping it up. Because I was buying other products
at
from
the apartment.
And so and
so she also sells.
It works. It works. Yeah. So like so I bought some other stuff for her. Let me get this green stuff, whatever. So anyway, so I had got some stuff from her, but no. And so
she means super green.
So I'm sorry. So then, so we was messaging back and forth or whatever, and she had this cup which I still ain't seen. So anyway, so she had this cup, and I was like, this cup is dope.
She said she ain't get hers yet.
She waiting on something.
Are you looking for super greens or are you looking for the leggings? We'll talk to you shortly.
Okay. So she said, you had a cup, and I was like, this cup is dope. I'm like, where can I get this, whatever? And she was like, I'm gonna have it in a little while. And I'm like, okay.
I have not put them out yet.
So I'm like, so she said that, and then I remember you made you did a post, whatever. Like, if I wanted to do something, you said something like, I don't know if you were saying like do like a podcast or like put product out, and you was like, would y'all entertain it or would y'all F with me or whatever? Yeah. And I was like, and then so when she said that, I'm like, I would, you know, it depends on what you putting out or whatever. Because I'm person first, I love to support black businesses. I like not just black business, I like to support small business as well. But
we understand the time that it takes to put into it. Yeah. The money, the thoughts, the sleepless nights.
Yeah. So the fact that you were like that you had a vision and an idea, and because like me, I've done that before. Like I want to do this, but I don't know who's gonna rock with it or whatever. I don't know if it's what's nice. So then the fact that you did it. And I saw you said like I sold out, like I didn't expect to sell out, and I was just like, it was just like it kind of inspired me to be like, just do
the second drop. The leggings stuff.
Yeah. It was like just do what you got to do, just do what you want to do or whatever.
And I want people to understand it's not about selling out. I mean that was just that it happened, and that was like a very overwhelming, experience for me. I was full of joy. But it's, I still have things. I didn't sell out in the last drop. I sold out of certain items, certain colors, certain sizes and stuff like that. There's still a few things that's available. That's the goal is to one day, have people waiting on your stuff. But the fact that right now, that was only my second drop, and I did have people, like we went live at 8, at 801, 803, stuff was certain sizes and certain
that is a blessing.
Was gone,
I love
that was amazing. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it would have been 8 o'clock, but it was a lot happening that day. Like my niece, like every weekend, our life's so ghetto. Every weekend. My nieces and nephews are but I don't know. Everybody may not know, but we live with our parents. We live with my parents. Yeah. Our lease was up last year at our apartment complex, and I could not wrap my brain around paying them people $1,100 a month for something that would never be mine. Yeah, but that's $1,100 just in the rent, and then you got and nothing was included. Right, absolutely. The cable bill alone, and I'm such a fucking geek. Like I watch cartoons all day long, so I had to have all the cartoon channels. Like I need a kids pack, and they're like, "Oh, you got kids, bitch? This ain't for the kids, it's for me." You know, like, don't do me like that. So I have to have like the all the kids package.
Yeah.
He enjoys sports, but he's not like a sports fanatic, but he still want all the fucking ESPN channels and shit like that. Yeah. So our cable bill alone is like $300.
I know.
It's crazy. It never stays the same.
And like 100 is no
every time,
every month,
every time.
$10 what we do different.
I'm on the phone with Comcast, Xfinity.
Okay. Every time I talk to them, I be like, look, when I think about adding something, I'm like, okay, now what is this going to take?
Exactly. I be like, what can I take off?
And then look, I be like, what is it going to take my bill to? And I'm like, okay, so you said, all right, so you said 140 and blah, blah. And I said, okay, and what about sub? I'm like, what about your sub charges and all that or whatever? And then I'm like, okay, so my bill not going to be over this one.
They be like, your bill will be over $168. You get that bitch, it'd be $298.
Like, you prorated what?
Right.
I don't know what prorated means, because to me, prorated means that you're. What does it mean? Because I feel like that's a bullshit ass word that they just made up to throw at people when they want to add on shit that shouldn't be there.
I'm talking about that bill be so damn crazy.
It's so aggravating. The phone bill too. Them fucking cell phone bills be the same way.
Now our phone bill is consistent.
Nah, for a minute Verizon had me fucked up. For a minute Verizon.
I had to get rid of Verizon. They had me messed up.
It's funny because like after we got things straight, we haven't had to call Verizon. We ain't called Verizon.
Wait, it was the same thing for you with AT&T every month?
Oh,
because I was saying, because I was like, no, I had to be done with it.
What do you have, Xfinity?
I have Xfinity.
I have T-Mobile right now, which we were.
Oh wait, you talking about phones?
Phone.
Yeah, okay, so I just went to phone.
We have Xfinity.
Want that cable, like
right.
She called herself trying to get a bundle deal though, and she's still paying a lot of money.
Let me tell you something. So I said, that's what I told him. I said, what's the damn bundle? I said, look here. I said, y'all gotta take stuff.
Give me the cell phone too. They got cell service. That's gonna cut everything.
You guys are tuning in to WJZZ Cool TV Evening Conversations with Joy and Nikki. If you want to tune in on the conversation, you can call us at 313-355-6018. We're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. And right now we're here with Ren and Clue, married couple. Friends of ours, but also they have their entrepreneurs, and they have 2 sons as well. You know what? We should have had y'all. Sorry, guys. Log into the internet because that's probably why. Her internet is not working. So now that you guys have pretty much gotten a hold on a lot of things, with the boys are getting a little older, a little more self-sufficient now too. They can get up and do different things. The love life, the dating nights, the hanging out. What is it? Any trips planned or anything?
No, it's good.
Nope.
It's
we getting there.
Yeah, it's gotten better. I think over quarantine, we had a lot of really good conversations, like really impactful conversations. I think conversations
we reintroduced ourselves to each other.
Yeah, I think conversations that we didn't know we needed to have.
Yeah, and
it's like, just like random shit where it's like, oh, I didn't know it. All this time you felt this way, type thing. You know what I mean?
Ooh. So that was one of the things I had wanted to bring up. So like, I had seen something that said, your spouse. See, now I gotta pause because now I gotta see it. I gotta pull it back up. So it said your spouse is not a mind reader or something like that.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, where it come from or whatever. Oh, it say, don't expect your spouse to read your mind. Communicate how you feel and how you need to be loved. And that's what I wanted to go there with you guys, because I can imagine, I know that you've probably been feeling, or you probably have a way you like, okay, I feel like he should already know this or this and that, whatever, or he should, and then he may have had something that he expected from you. And so like what he just said, like, I didn't know you felt like this all the time, whatever. It's how important, what I'm getting to, because I'm rambling, like how you do what I'm getting to is like how important communication is in romance and relationship, but actually understanding how to be romance, because like that's something y'all have to teach each other.
So those 3 things, communication, understanding, and hearing one another. That's really what it is. Like,
and the hearing one another is so important.
It's our communication. This is something that we have really taken a lot of pride into. Something that we are really grateful for, because in the beginning of our relationship, we just, when people would ask us anything, it would just be like, we talk. talk a lot. Like we talk a lot.
Because y'all actually liked each other. That's what it was.
and it was so in the beginning of our relationship. I know for me, I had been with one guy. Like
we know,
Nikki, y'all know.
Yeah. We know.
I had been with one guy for a very, very, very long time, off and on, up and down, and I found myself. I was young, I was straight, and that one guy had been like that one guy for me for like since elementary school, So I found myself doing things just to try to please him, just to hold on to him, instead of just telling him what the fuck was going on with me. Like, nigga, you are really fucked up. Like, you really keep fucking hurting me. Like, I don't understand. I would, in that relationship, I would act out. I would, if you ever see this, I would, because I lied and told him I never did this, but I, like, destroyed his clothes and, like, I was young, I was stupid, I was young, I was stupid, I did a lot of shit that I saw on television, I popped up at his mama house and I acted a fool in front of her, shit like that. I acted a fool in front of his friends. I was young and I was very, 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 very stupid and very emotional when it came down to him. So I spent a lot of time just by myself and dating and, back and forth. For the first time when I was like 25, I was just like out here. Like I was out here.
You like me.
I was out here. Okay, you couldn't sit.
At 25.
You couldn't sit my ass down. Like my sister had to call. I remember Shara called me one time. It was like, "Where are you?" I was like, "Oh, I'm in Miami."
I remember
by
that.
myself. Like
I remember that time where I'm like, Korean area of the week.
I was out. You couldn't sit me still. I was hopping on trains, meeting people. I was going by myself. Nobody was going with me. Yeah. So it was like it went from that to I had to figure out, like, Korin, what are you gonna do to make sure that whatever relationship you end up in next, that you don't fuck around and compromise who you are for that nigga. So in the beginning of our relationship, like, I was very blunt with him. Like on our first date, I was like, I want 4 kids. You don't
Your
want
first
no kids?
date clue? What you say?
I was like, you don't want no kids? How many? He was like 2. I said, oh, nigga, I want 4. Like, this ain't gonna work.
We not gonna
want 4.
Like, no, from jump,
I wasn't that rough.
2 might be fine.
Like, you a lie. I never said 2 might be fine.
From jump, but you definitely,
I was like, I want 4. And he was like, I was thinking like 2. I said, well, maybe we can meet in the middle about 3. And we talked about that stuff, but I was like,
from jump,
date
though,
1.
But I also was like on a very similar tip. You know what I mean? It was like we met each other at the right time, even though we went through some rocky stuff like a little bit after that to like more so on my end, me being in that situation.
All on your end.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm trying to upsell what I said. No, so I claimed that. Okay.
As long as you
so we went through that period, and it was more so like things that I was going through that I kind of like put her, took her with me for that short period of time. But it's like I went to counseling, and because I had a lot of stuff to deal with on my own, and luckily I snapped out of it before she was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Literally,
but
he
also,
stepped out of it the day I was about to say, the morning of.
The morning of.
We went through what we was going through, whatever we was going through, and we were not a couple. But we were still doing all the couple shit. Y'all know how that goes.
I went through
we were
that.
still eating. All the dates was with me and him.
I don't want to be with her, but it's like,
it was.
I tell people that too. It's like I thought I wanted to be single, but it was like I was still calling her. And like,
there was
what you doing today?
Yeah, there was
like and all this stuff. I never separated myself from her, and I think like over time through counseling and talking with myself and all that stuff, it was like this is, I can't shake like this person. Typically when I would do the typical guy shit, it's like 6 to 8 months, like, you know what, I'm out. You know what I mean? And then it was like she called me on it. It was like, no, you're not out, you have a problem. You know what I mean?
And
like,
I was,
something,
because I was just like, something ain't right.
And then digging through, going to therapy and stuff like that, I had a lot of like childhood traumas from the man I've seen in my lives, like, I don't know, my dad might be watching this, so I'm not going to say it's super personal stuff, that happened when I was a kid that kind of like unconsciously put me in a certain state of mind. And I didn't know that until I went to therapy and we were, asking questions and I'm giving answers and I'm like, oh my God, like I forgot that shit happened to me. It was just packed away in so many layers. And it was like all those things caused me to cause like these commitment issues and so on and so forth. And then it came down to, and this was my therapist was like, yo, you really just, at the end of the day, she didn't say it like this, but she was like, nigga, you just gonna have to decide what kind of man you want to be and just do it. And that's what all my sessions boiled down to. It was like, what do you want to be? And are you going to do the work to be that man that you say you want to be, which is the opposite of, what you've seen. And luckily, I was able to figure that out before she was like, yo, I'm not waiting around.
That's good.
But from jump, our communication, because that was like one of the original questions, like we all, even during that time, it's like,
our communication
I never
really
had
good.
nobody actually look at me and analyze and say stuff. It's like, I've been doing the same shit to everybody I've ever dated. And nobody, like, none of you bitches said nothing.
I love that y'all opening this up to you calling him on his phone, him specifying that he had to reevaluate himself and go to counseling. A lot of this stuff men don't speak on about, the first parent jitters, the I want my wife, fuck this kid for the moment type, and like I said, the counseling. A lot of me like, I don't want to go to counseling. I've experienced that. We're not going to counseling. I'm like, oh, so what we doing? So it's a lot of this like that.
It was deeper, and I didn't want to be like one of those. And plus, I had to kind of like, it started. I don't know if I ever said it to you, but it started as like, she suggested it, so I'm gonna do it to keep her around.
And then it actually start.
But in the behind closed doors, it was like, no, like I really have issues. Like I lost my mom in 2009. We started dating in 2012, and she noticed that I never really dealt with that. And it was a lot of other things. So when we started to unpack stuff, it's like, no, I actually need to do this, and that's what kind of made me like make the phone call to set up the sessions and stuff. But it was like that's a good example of like from jump, our communication was like there more so from her end and me receiving and me caring about her enough to like take heed to
because
what she's saying.
Because he shut me out.
He
shut me and I saw a shift in him. He wasn't, it was just like, like it's just like, people tell you know your mate, and you can't tell me that the way that, like, there were things that I'm an Aquarius. So I'm really, really, really analytical, and I analyze everything, and sometimes I overanalyze things. But
like that.
there was things I had to like. It was extremely accurate. Like, I know there was never a time where he had to put his phone face down, where he would take his phone everywhere he went. The routes were, you 45 minutes late. Like, what? I mean, it's cool, but what happened? Right. Because it started to become, you're not going to switch patterns like that. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to become the consistent thing. Then the sex, it was like, I'm butt ass naked. You telling me you ain't trying? We still within the first year. You should be pouncing right about now, And
oh my God,
this nigga legit looked at me and was like,
our last little minute. So I'm gonna let y'all share your business, social medias and stuff. And I thank y'all so much for coming on today. Our hour goes by so fast, but
I didn't even know the show was only an hour. I legit thought it was longer
I
than that.
know.
Oh yeah,
we keep our podcast at an hour too.
Yeah. Try to skim it down.
Yeah.
But where can they find you? I noticed Emil clean sneakers.
Yeah, clean sneaker care spelled normal. That's the page at Clue313 at Clue313 on Instagram.
And Sneaker Podcast.
Sneaker Dads Podcast.
Sneaker Dads Podcast.
Y'all gotta tune into that.
It's fun.
Yeah. And I am
I'm gonna make sure I put that stuff down at the bottom of my stuff. So yeah.
And mine is Ring My K Bell.
Ring my underscore.
Ring my underscore K Bell. Gotta know that my maiden name is Bell, and the play on words there. And then the business page is Just Flow. Just is spelled JUSTEFLOW LLC. Just Flow LLC. So it's like a French Just Flow
All right, so you guys tuned in to Evening Conversation. We had Clue and Ren on talking entrepreneurship and love and relationships.
Yeah.
We thank y'all for tuning in. This is WJZ
We'll have
Cool
to do
TV.
this again.
I know, right?
Yeah, we got
All
shit to talk about.
Yes,
We
we
don't
all
even- We
do.
didn't even talk about like.
I know.
No,
we
it's
do.
so
Deep
much more.
shit.
It's so
Deep
much
shit.
more.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
We're going to have to do a part 2.
I mean,
We
if
gonna
those
have to do a part
stars
2 of it.
aligned, as you said, because
Yes.
you were putting his life for a reason and he was putting your life for a reason.
Absolutely.
Thank you for tuning in to Evening Conversations. I'm Joy,
And I'm Nikki.
and we will see you guys next Friday, WJZZ Cool TV, at 9 p.m.